Well, hello and welcome to this week's edition of Movie Burner News, and this week's headline is J.R.R. Tolkien Biopic starring Nicholas Hoult is coming this summer. According to the studio Fox Searchlight, that is, John, it's coming out on the 10th of May. I know you're a big fan of Tolkien, so
yes.
How do you feel about this? Because I'll tell you something, John, didn't even know this film was getting made.
I didn't know the film was getting made either, Steve. Not only am I a big fan of John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, I am also a big fan of Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah.
I've read all of the man's novels, Steve, the likes of The Children of Hurin, The Silmarillion, The Unfinished Tales, and just I've got all of the man's work. I've even got his autobiography, which I haven't read as of yet, but I will read it perhaps after I've seen this film for a different take. See what they get right and what they didn't get right, what artistic license was used to show the great man's life. But just what a towering figure this guy was in the world of literature, Stephen. Just not just the world of literature, Stephen. Creating languages, multiple languages, Elvish, the dwarf language, just crafting these magnificent worlds in his head. An incredible imagination, and that was fueled by his wondrous childhood and just the horrors of World War I as well.
Well, I was going to say that, John. You know, as well as obviously his writing work, I'm very interested to see how, you know, he spent his childhood. If it really goes into that, I don't think it will, because I think Nicholas Hoult is going to really capture his younger years, but not as far back as obviously his early childhood. Yeah. But to see that period in his history is certainly something that intrigues myself, who I've not read any of the books, as you know, John. I'm more of a film fan of the Lord of the Rings, and less so The Hobbit. But that's for another day, that argument. Yeah. But listen, you can't deny the man's work. As you said to me off camera earlier on, we were talking about the atlases as well that you had shown me. Shows you the man's devotion to creating Middle Earth. Worlds, and you know, the worlds in general. The characters as well, certainly fleshed out. It inspired the likes of Lucas, George Lucas that is, to create Star Wars. Is it a big call saying without Lord of the Rings we wouldn't have Star Wars? That's debatable, but I think there was a lot of inspiration from Tolkien's work there. From
inspired
George
a great
Lucas.
many people, Stephen. I don't know if The Lord of the Rings are still, to this day, the second highest selling books behind the Bible. I think they are.
I remember reading that maybe about a decade ago, but I would say so.
You think, Stephen, how long the Bible's been floating around?
Yeah.
A good few hundred years in its current form, obviously transcribed from Hebrew or whatever the hell it was, and compare it to how long The Lord of the Rings has been around. A great deal less, so it shows you the popular nature of a man's work. Also, The Lord of the Rings is the primary work you think of right away, but he actually did flesh out this world in, as I said, The Unfinished Tales, The Silmarillion. I mean, it's an incredible world full of mysticism and just incredible lore and characters and languages and rich terrains, and what a rich mind the man had. And this is going to be thoroughly shown in terms of just what inspired the man.
I'm going to say the director's name here, John, and excuse me if I do get it wrong, but it's Dom Kuruskoski, is it? Who directed a film called Tom of Finland, which I'm not familiar with his work, but I'm looking at the cast here. Very, very good. It stars the likes of Lily Collins, Edith Bratt, Cole Meany is in there, Anthony Boyle, Patrick Gibson, Craig Roberts, Laura Donnelly, Genevieve O'Reilly, who played Mon Mothma in Rogue One, Pam Ferris and Derek Jacobi, the legend that is Derek Jacobi or Jacobi. Yeah, Jacobi. But as I said, I don't know the director at all. But listen, it's a great cast. Nicholas Hoult in that lead role as well. First film I saw him in was about a boy, and who would have known that child actor would have went on to do things such as the X-Men films, etc. Terrific actor, isn't he? Yeah, he's one of the rare guys, Stephen, that's transitioned from being a child actor, a child star, into being a fully formed and fleshed, fantastic adult actor. We've seen it with Christian Bale. He's managed to good example, make the jump. So obviously there's been a lot of actors like Macaulay Culkin and a whole host of others who haven't been quite so successful in making that jump into adult acting. And I think that's just purely because of the strains of the business and stuff like that, and what it does to a young mindset and just bullying and stuff. Jealous little gits at school and whatnot. Unhappy about what the success these young guys have had. Another interesting angle in this is, by the time this film was released, the Fox-Disney merger will have taken place.
It's going to be the first film, I believe, of the Fox-Disney merger after it. So that's intriguing. It's going to be the first of major releases of the combined studios. So that is a very intriguing story as well, Stephen. Obviously, I can't wait to see it because I'm just a massive fan of the man. I'm a massive fan of the cast in general, but Nicholas Hoult, I think he's an incredible actor. I loved him in The Favourite. He had a fairly minor role in comparison to
I think as well, John,
female trio.
The subject matter, over the last few years, it certainly has worked. We saw it with Christopher Robin. We saw it with Jane Austen as well. A lot of people who are a fan of a certain author's work are very interested in the author as well. So this is it's a
it doesn't get more interesting in this man's life, Stephen, as you did as I hinted that for the First World War. He was a soldier, and this is a man who came from East Prussia. His background, so he's stemmed back to a German sort of a Prussian background, and he was bitten by baboon spiders and everything in his garden, and there's just a whole host of interesting stuff going on in the man's life. So I can't wait to see it put to camera. It's going to be very intriguing to see how much of it they get right. As I did say, Stephen, I've got the man's autobiography here on me. I've not read it as of yet. I've read all of his fictional work, so cannot wait to see his non-fiction. No, I never get that right, Stephen. Is it fiction, non-fiction?
Fiction.
Fiction, fictional work. So I can't wait to read this non-fiction book, and I'll perhaps leave it until after I watch this film, just to compare and contrast what they get right and just how much artistic licence has been used in the process of making this film. But look, I don't know much about the director, but the backstory they've got to really mine off, it's a wealth of information and incredible stories, and just, as they do say, from his childhood, meeting friendships, creating friendships that would last through his life, and just all the way up into, hopefully we're not going to see the later days, unless they do Nicholas Hoult up in makeup. I hope not. No.
Hope not. The one thing that will come out of this, John, is that people like myself who aren't really familiar with the man's personal life and more of his work away from the stuff that came from the Lord of the Rings, is it might inspire people to actually go out and get that book that you're talking about.
Well, I have to tell you, Stephen, although I'm saying I've got his autobiography, as I did say I haven't read it, and I wasn't actually aware of the fact that he was an orphan. So there you go, even I've got things to learn. I knew he was involved in the First World War, and that really shaped him, of who he was going to become going forward. And I know that he actually started writing many of the books after that, because he grew a great fondness for the rolling countryside of England and obviously its shires, and that inspired him to create the characters of Frodo and Bilbo and obviously the Shire itself. So he grew a great fondness after his experiences and the horrifying things he's seen in World War I. So I can't wait to see it, Stephen. I'm giving it away. Yeah,
we're only 4 months away from its release anyway, John. Certainly looking forward to it. But we'll move on to our next topic, and that's it's coming in from HollywoodReporter.com. It's Netflix grows subscriber base to 139 million worldwide. That is incredible. This is the revenue for the final 3 months of the year. It was up 27% to 4.19 billion. A certain person will not be happy reading this, and that's a Mr. Murdoch.
Well, tough.
I think. But listen, I'm
not going to talk about Rupert Murdoch.
I'm very happy with this. I think Netflix UK has to get its act together, though. I think the stranglehold that's in this country in regards to the quality of films that are coming out in the US, or US counterparts, Canadian counterparts, etc. They've already got Solo, a Star Wars story on Netflix. We haven't, because it's on Sky Movies. That's our only way of accessing these latest films that we missed in the cinema. That's why I always say I'll have to catch this on Sky Movies, because we don't have a choice in the matter. I think it's ridiculous. That's something that may change in the the upcoming certainly the next few years. I hope so, because I think certainly an embargo I think is something that has to be looked at. But there's a whole host of things in our entertainment platforms that have to have a look at. BBC TV licence for us to kick off.
Yeah, should be scrapped.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
especially when you're getting BBC America. I'm certainly sure that they don't pay a licence fee. We're paying it for them.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but I had to go on my soapbox there. Yeah. And I think this is in the same vein. I think I'm a big Netflix fan. I've been a subscriber since 2013, John. It's I think their content over the last 6 months is dramatically improved. We've done a few trailer reactions last week as well.
It's looking very, very promising for the year ahead.
And you're getting a whole host of big stars coming into these films now. This is going to be a common trend, I think, over the next few years with Netflix and the other streaming channels. But Netflix is the one, certainly, that will be very happy with this headline. I'm glad, because I think it gives them more revenue to develop and produce more original content, and gives directors and writers a platform as well that Hollywood mainstream probably wouldn't even touch with a barge pole.
And it gives them more of revenue to go in to all the various film festivals throughout the world, Steve, and pick up films which haven't yet obtained distribution rights, which is something they do like to do. We've seen it with the likes of Caliber, that one that Darren reviewed last week on the Pod Rundown, Small Town Crime. They go in and pick these films up which aren't getting distributing deals, and they will put it out and give a massive audience to go in and watch it. 139 million subscribers. That's all the more remarkable, Stephen, because as you did say, there is so many competing and rival streaming services popping up, the likes of Amazon, the likes of Apple creating their own one, Disney, DC have already got a streaming service out. So for them to maintain that subscription base and in actual fact increase it even more, and to have revenue of $4.21 billion is just extraordinary, and it's a great testament to what the likes of Ted Sarandos and all the other people involved in that streaming giant are accomplishing with all the unique content, bringing in a whole host of interesting content that they maybe don't have the original, it's not their original content, but they purchase it through obviously staggered distribution deals. This is what they do. They'll have maybe films or series on for a number of months or a year, and then it will drift off.
I know that Netflix still have classic films, etc. on there that are on for a very short, limited time. But you've got to remember, back in 2013, that's all Netflix relied on. I remember, I think I watched the RoboCop trilogy on Netflix, films that were 20, 30 years old. That was sort of the content you were getting. Now you're getting new releases almost on a daily basis now. And when you're seeing the likes of Jake Gyllenhaal, you know, headlining one of their Netflix, Sandra Bullock
Bird Box, and
Bird
also
Box.
John Malkovich, and the likes of Adam Sandler has utilised this service to very good effect, some hits and some not so good films. The Meyerowitz story was, was a fantastic film. And
the film that we're talking about from Darren as well, with Octavia Spencer, that gives her a platform to produce you know, a low budget independent film that she probably wouldn't have, that Hollywood probably wouldn't have gave her the kind
Idris Elba film as well, Stephen. That was a fantastic film. Got some Oscar things. I think it actually got snubbed for the Oscars because it was too late. They were snubbing streaming services at this point. They can't do that now. No, certainly not with the likes of Alfonso Cuarón and Roma. This guy, I'm sure he's going to win a best film for that film. I think it's just the best film award for his work on Roma. It was also a kind of an autobiographical film. It's just stunningly shot, beautiful black and white picture, incredible detail. He wrote it, he directed it, I think he did his own cinematography and everything. Incredible attention to detail, so many different films, camera angles and stuff. So this is the calibre of people they're getting on board now, Stephen, filmmakers, the calibre of actors, as you did say, Jake Gyllenhaal. It's onwards and upwards for streaming services. This is just, you're seeing the change in the entertainment industry, the way it's going. It's kind of a, I don't want to say it's drifting from traditional studios and also cinematic releases into streaming, but they're certainly going back and forward, and it's kind of echoing what we're seeing with TV and just the bias between TV and film. Big name actors and actresses wouldn't want to damage their career by getting into TV shows, but we're seeing that drifting. They're coming in, the likes of David Tennant, the likes of Amy Adams, as I said, with Sharp Objects, a whole host of A-list actors going in and doing TV work. And we're seeing it with the streaming services as well. They'll go in and do it now.
I think as well, John, that Netflix have to get roads ahead at this period, because they know what's coming with Disney, and they know they're going to be a main player in the streaming services. Disney will predominantly produce Disney products, but that's not to say...
They've also got Hulu though. I think they're also incorporating Hulu, which is going to be more higher calibre sort of a film releases.
But listen, that's not a bad thing. It's good competition. It keeps everyone on their toes. I think Netflix has done remarkably well over the last 2 years, just improving their service. Certainly their subscriptions improving as well, as we saw from that headline. And their quality of their production as well is certainly improving. And it's, as I said, it's more on a weekly basis now. I get that notification through from Netflix, what's just been uploaded to their services. And I'm always taken aback when I see the film that's coming out from their original content and who's starring in it, and that says a lot.
And just a whole host of interesting original TV stuff they're doing as well, Steve.
Yeah, definitely.
We've done a topic not long ago, a couple of weeks back, the degree of streaming to terrestrial or cable, basic cable and paid cable. The TV shows, the wealth of original TV shows that are now coming out, it's like 400 or 500, it's incredible.
So onwards and upwards. But we'll move on to our next article, John. It's coming in from Empire Online, and the headline is, Gary Oldman joins new thriller The Courier. We don't know if he's going to be the antagonist or not, but certainly from this article, it certainly seems that he is.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman, for me, I grew up him being an antagonist in almost every film that he was in.
Yeah, his early career, yeah.
Did we do a...
We did do, yeah, we done a profile on the
podcast. Can't remember that, but...
you don't want to remember that, Stephen.
But listen, Gary Oldman...
You don't want to be pushing that out to people.
both of us are big fans of Gary Oldman.
Massive fan of him.
Just... you know, I just think the guy, whether it's a supporting role or a lead role, we saw him in the Darkest Hour, not that Darkest Hour, totally different film. But that film for me, I saw that last December, and it was the first film I really saw him leading. He was always an antagonist in some action film, or he was a supporting role, you know. But certainly in that film, and rightly so, won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his portrayal of Winston Churchill. This film intrigues me because it's, you know, it's about a courier whose daily deliveries are interrupted when she discovers that her latest package is a bomb. So it's certainly not Gary Oldman, it's going to be the courier.
No.
Probably a little bit old in the legs for doing courier work, I think. But
yeah, I don't know about that, Stephen. I've seen some out there that are getting well on in years and they're nowhere near in the requisite shape to be doing courier work, but we'll not get into that.
But this is a bicycle.
Courier,
so
well, there you go,
I can't imagine Gary Oldman doing that. Maybe if it was a van.
He's a very fit man, Stephen.
Yeah, but
I even remember that Churchill stuff was perfect.
This courier's daily deliveries are interrupted when she discovers the latest package is a bomb, one aimed at killing a witness who's about to testify against a ruthless crime lord.
Played by Oldman. So there you go. He's definitely the villain.
Yeah, he's definitely is.
Taking a step back
it sounds a bit like a kind of Speed type of film, you know, where you've got to obviously get this package to wherever it's going in time, or you're going to be the one in the receiving. No, certainly not. How they're going to deal with that, you know, I don't know if this courier is going to be highly skilled and trained in this kind of predicament or not, but we'll soon see. But
maybe
listen,
she's acquired a certain set of skills, she will find them and kill them.
Yeah, but listen, this film, I don't know if it's got a release date, has it, John? I don't think it's
not got a clue, I don't think so. 2020 is coming out, but we don't know the exact.
Well, it says here at the bottom of the article that the wheels and the cameras are rolling next month in London, so it's based in London, so that's interesting as well.
Yeah, but we've not even got a full cast as of yet, Stephen. We've only got the two primary actors, Olga Kurylenko and also Gary Oldman in there. And we know that Olga's the courier and that Gary is going to be the villain. So it's very intriguing. I can't wait to see the man coming back and going back to his roots with a villainous role. I think the last time he was in a villainous role was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. It was a kind of a villainous role. He wasn't the out-and-out villain, but he certainly wasn't a good guy either. So it's not been that long. It's not been like 20 years, but very cool to see. And again, he wasn't an out-and-out villain. This is an out-and-out villain, so maybe even longer. I cannot wait to see it. I don't know much about the director or indeed anybody else involved. But I don't know anything about Gary Oldman or James Edward Barker.
Gary Oldman, I think probably the Dark Knight trilogy was probably one of the first times that I saw him playing the good guy role. And he handled it well.
Earlier for me, Stephen, as Sirius Black in the Harry Potter franchise, and arguably my favourite, one of my favourite Harry Potter films, The Prisoner of Azkaban, when he came out into the
Long
scene.
Time ago, John.
And he kind of played a villain in that, and then it was revealed his true nature, his true identity, and just he wasn't a villain. And he became a very good man, also a mentor figure,
out with Christian Bale in the Dark Knight trilogy, though, he certainly was
Commissioner Gordon.
When you look at that cast over the whole trilogy, when you get the likes of Michael Caine in there.
Yeah, he was the one true beacon of light throughout the whole thing.
He certainly was, you know, he was, you know, you take away, you know, the Dark Knight, he certainly is, as you say, the beacon of hope. He's the one that's not morally corrupted in any
he's never
fashion.
corrupted at any point.
He sticks by his guns, and I just felt that Gary Oldman portrayed the role perfectly.
And the thing with Gary is that, Stephen, that he will come into a film, even if it's a middling film, it's not got an incredible cast. Olga Kurylenko is a very decent actor in her own right, but even if this film turns out to be not so good in terms of script, he has definitely got the ability, much like Daniel Day-Lewis or whatever, not that Daniel ever stars in below par films, never does. I've never seen a guy in a bad film, but he's that calibre of actor where he will step into a film and maybe make it better than the sum of its parts and raise the standards of the rest of the cast or whatnot. But until we see the rest of the cast, even it's all hearsay, it may be that he's bolstered by a whole host of other
I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it.
And with it being set in London, Stephen, I think it's clear that probably a whole host of the who's who's of British actors, so don't be
Michael
surprised
Caine
to see
back in there,
Michael Caine or the likes of that other guy I love who was in Finest Hour, and a whole host of other ones he always plays. Interesting, I can't remember his name, I'll never get it. But the likes of, you may have the likes of, I don't know, Steve, a very talented British cast anyway.
Hope so.
To bolster it, and I hope so too, because it's interesting.
But we'll move on to our final article, John, just before we go into the weekly poll. This comes in from Screen Rant, and it's Warner Brothers chairman says that DC are going to be more focused on directors than Marvel shared universe. Now, it's not really shock horror, is it? We talked about this. We actually predicted this might be the case when we saw the likes of the Batman film, the direction they're going. We know, obviously, this Joker film that's coming out as well was certainly a standalone. Yeah,
that was certainly when the alarm bells rang for me, Stephen, that things were changing when they announced that Joaquin Phoenix Joker film, also being set as a prequel, totally disconnected from the rest of the DCEU in the 1980s. And Martin Scorsese produced sort of a crime film. That's when it really struck me, Stephen, that perhaps they were finally seeing light and sense and ditching this incessant need to copy and follow the MCU and Marvel. I says to you before we even get on, Stephen, Marvel, and I says it time and again, have their own thing. They've nailed it. They've perfected the art of the internet-connected cinematic universe. Jon Favreau, that blend of action and slapstick, light-hearted, cute comedy.
Well, John, that with the actors changing in the Superman and hearsay, the Batman role as well, it's probably the right time to do it, because Gal Gadot can carry on doing Wonder Woman films with no connection with any Henry Cavill stuff or Ben Affleck. It can still work. Same with Aquaman, that can work. And the Flashpoint film as well with Ezra Miller.
And Cyborg?
And Cyborg as well. Certainly, I don't know if they're going to carry on. That character seems to have not really grabbed the audience.
And of course, Harley Quinn and Jared Leto.
It can carry on as separate entities. You're right, and I think this Joker film is going to show that DC still got a lot to offer with their characters. They've just made a series of mistakes early on, but it's nothing that can't be fixed. As I said, this is the way that DC should have went from the very beginning. I think the whole shared universe thing, leave that to Marvel. They know what they're doing. This has been something that's been, I think they were laying the groundwork maybe about 4 or 5 years before they started the cameras rolling on Iron Man back in 2008, was it?
2008, yeah. 2008. Well, they would have started cameras about 2007.
I just felt, DC and Warner Brothers were too busy trying to rush to get to that point. In a very condensed time. We got the Justice League film.
They were doing it wrong.
3-4 years after the Man of Steel came out.
Yeah, they were introducing too many characters in the one film without giving them their own space, their own self-contained backstory, like they've done in the MCU. And as Toby Emmerich says, it really all started from Toby Emmerich taking over as chairman of Warner Brothers, Steve, and replacing his incumbent, who was he wasn't very good. He was rushing Zack Snyder, calling for films to be shortened down and lightening the tone, which is completely wrong. He says we've all feel like we've turned a corner now. We're playing by the DC playbook, which is a very different playbook from the Marvel one. I'm kind of I'm not, I can't remember what the paraphrasing, that's the word, paraphrasing that's not exactly what he said. He says that they're less focused on a shared universe and they will take one movie at a time, which is exactly what they have to do. They have to take each movie on its own equation and as its own creative entity, Stephen. That's what they're going to do. That's exactly what they have to do. DC have a whole array of very interesting characters. Certainly I feel like they've got a stronger array of characters than Marvel. And if they take them at their own thing and do their own self-contained stories, then that's the way forward for DC. They've got a darker,
the thing, John, is as well, if it does work for them, then maybe 10 years from now they can make this big Justice League film then. And it will work.
And who's to say, Stephen, if they don't bring in a great Batman and a great Superman and it interconnects well, it takes off well and it's a success, that they can't then interconnect it with Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot's versions of the characters again. So they have to earn the right to do a shared universe. They didn't do it before. They're doing this. I prefer DC when they do their own self-contained stories. It's what they're best at. Given us the likes of a Joker film, the likes of a Batman film, a Superman film, doing their own thing. There is no need, just because Marvel have done it, to do a creative, interconnected cinematic universe. There's no need for every single studio to follow it. Universal tried it with the Monster Universe and it was an absolute failure. And so did DC, and it was a failure. So go off and do your standalone.
Well, I think that's what Wonder Woman 1984 is going to do. Certainly the Joker's going to do that, because it's a different actor playing the Joker in this one that is in the
Well,
Suicide
Jared Leto
Squad.
apparently still getting his own one, but is that going to happen? Time will remain if it says it is.
It's all went quiet, you know, but I did hear that they were going to do that as well. But I'm very intrigued to see this Wonder Woman film set in 1984 with the original cast coming back to do that as well.
Chris Pine.
Yeah, he's back as well, surprisingly. Don't know if it's going to be his son or what. Or his,
They were hinting that it could be a grandson.
A grandson, yeah. Well, yeah, 1984, that would...
Yeah.
We'll see how that works.
How's that
40 odd years after the events.
Yeah, and he looks so like him that he's a twin.
Yeah.
No, not for me. But look, we'll see. I love Chris Pine.
Yeah, but we'll move on to this week's poll, John. I'd just like to thank everyone who participated in this.
Yes.
And the final results were, the question first.
The question
That's
first,
more important, yes. Is which of these 4 Nicole Kidman movies is the best?
Yes.
And the options were Moulin Rouge from 2001, The Hours from 2002, The Others from 2001. She was a busy girl that year. And To Die For in 1995. I actually forgot about the film. It's actually a decent film. But the results were, John, Moulin Rouge got 32%, The Hours got 12%, The Others got 38%, and To Die For got 18%. I don't know about yourself, John, but I certainly voted for The Others.
I did as well, Stephen.
Loved that film.
Yeah.
Not just for Nicole Kidman. I thought it was a very well crafted film. Nice little ending to it as well. I thought it was a nice little...
I think she won an Oscar for it, Stephen. I'm pretty sure she did. I know she won an Oscar for one of them. I don't know which one it was. I'm pretty damn sure it was... no, it was theirs. She won an Oscar for. I'm talking that, but the Others was the one I voted for because I think it was a more superior film. Obviously, the Others should be very well put in a better performance, but I voted for the Others because that was, for me, her best film out of those 4. I liked Moulin Rouge as well. Obviously, she starred alongside Ewan McGregor. That was a great musical film.
She had a good voice as well.
She has a good voice, and so is Ewan, surprisingly. He doesn't rate himself as a singer, obviously.
No.
When he played the bloody Torch in Beauty and the Beast, Stephen. I forget.
Torch.
I can't remember his name. He didn't rate himself as a singer anyway, but he was very good in Moulin Rouge, obviously utilising Lumiere, utilising Autotune.
Yeah.
But look, they're all fantastic films. The Hours, she won an Oscar for her performance. That speaks volumes for that film. Moulin Rouge, one of the greatest musicals of the 21st century, just. And The Others was the one I voted for because it was a superb film. I've not seen To Die For, so I can't really talk about that one, Stephen. But all in all, superb actress. What can you say?
Very close poll this week as well.
It was a very close poll for a change.
Some of them, yeah. But listen, that just wraps up this week's edition of Movie Burner News. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow with the blog rundown.